And our guests on this segment are Peter Luitwieler, Community Service Counsel, and Rachel Runfola, Veterans Division Director for Warrior Partnership of Eastern Oklahoma. Welcome to you both. I hope I got through the names without messing up too badly. I'm called a butcher sometimes. First of all, what is the Community Service Council? What's it all about?
The Community Service Council has been around for 76 years. It currently has 7 core investment areas, which include health, education, now veterans. We have quite a data warehouse, housing and homelessness within the northeastern part of Oklahoma, as well as, I think, did I hit them all, Pete? No, incarceration reduction.
Yeah, right.
We also manage the drug court programs in Tulsa County. So we have always been kind of a think tank for the area of Tulsa, and have kind of tried to be on the leading edge of social issues that may be coming down the pike, and try to get a jump on those and be able to assist when they actually come to roost in the public.
Probably have to work, I would imagine, at some point with the police department too, because of interpersonal relationships that exist between the public and the law.
We do, especially the incarceration reductions group, as well as the Veterans Division. We have a community outreach that involves the VA, the police department, the fire department, and several other collaborative organizations and agencies within the Tulsa community.
Peter, what about the veterans side of this? Now, I don't want to jump ahead to the veterans, Oklahoma Veterans Connection segment, but the Veterans Division, are you involved in that?
Yeah, Rachel heads it up, and I report to her. And I head up what's called the Warrior Partnerships of Eastern Oklahoma.
So what do you do?
Basically work with about 60 different agencies in Eastern Oklahoma that help veterans in different ways, whether it be on housing, education, employment, mental health, social opportunities, basic needs, legal. If they have a need, some agency is working with them. What we've been trying to do is get those agencies to work closer together so they can all provide better services so the veteran wins. As I say, when the community collaborates, the veterans win.
By and large, it seems like the majority of the veterans I've encountered, pretty okay, male and female. But there are some folk who need help, and they may not ask for it. They're just walking around like a time bomb. What do you do?
Well, if we encounter them, we try to get them to work with the appropriate agency, whether it be the VA, Veterans Administration, or the Disabled American Veterans, or the Oklahoma Department of Veterans Affairs, or one of the other 55 or 60 agencies. If we don't find them and somebody else does, that's even better, because then they're probably closer to the agency that needs to give them service. But we want to make sure that that veteran gets that service that he needs and any other services. And that's why we've developed this new approach called the Oklahoma Veteran Connections, which I can cover later.
I would, and I'm making a big assumption here, but I think I'm on a pretty safe ground. After what, 70, how many years?
76 years.
76 years. You must have an incredible database. We
do. We have a lot of information about, statistical information about veterans and where they're at and where their needs are. It's more what Pete is relating to is that we really need to be able to bring all the agencies together. There's a lot of people out there really actually providing services and helping veterans, but to do that in a collaborative way so that the veteran wins, not just is kind of is trying to hit and miss many different agencies. And that's where, kind of jumping ahead to the Oklahoma Veterans Connection, we've developed a 360 referral system, we call it, where a veteran can come in, tell a specific agency what's going on, tell their story one time, and then that will be referred to wherever say he needs housing or he needs help with education, he or she, then that can be referred on, and those other agencies can pick up that referral, work with the veteran directly, but they have the initial story from the veteran. The veteran doesn't have to retell anything. He or she doesn't have to go through that trauma, possible trauma of being reintroduced to that story again. So the downline agency can pick those referrals up. They can work directly with the veteran. If they're able to connect and take care of it, they can close the referral. That way the referring agency can go in, see that they've had a successful outcome, that whoever that individual was actually taken care of throughout the community, and so the need has been met.
Trying to envision the age factor here, because it seems as though we're losing people from what's termed the greatest generation, the World War II, at an alarming rate. And pretty soon they're going to all be gone. We're left in with the Korean conflict and the Vietnam War. I'm thinking the Korean conflict will be the next to leave us, so that brings the focus in even tighter on Vietnam. Am I reading that correctly?
Yes.
Yeah, actually most veterans that present for assistance are actually over 50 years old.
Really?
So it is primarily the Vietnam veteran era, with kind of a tailing off of the Korean, and then we do see, now and then, we do see still World War II veterans.
The only reason I even got involved in helping veterans, I was a veteran but had no idea the veterans in Oklahoma needed help until a young Marine came and talked to our Bible study group and said that the veterans were committing 22 suicides a day
Really?
on average in the U.S. So I just said, you tell me what you want me to do. And I've been doing things ever since, and it's a great feeling to help them. But we got a long way to go. And one other thing that CSC does that ties into this is the 211 phone system. Are you familiar with that?
Yes.
Okay. That's part of the Community Service Council. And that's going to be, or is, an integral part of this Oklahoma Veteran Connection System. So that when somebody calls into 211 as a veteran, they get identified, they can refer them to an agency. Or they go into what's called the coffee bunker or the Veterans Administration, and they say, I need help in these areas. Like Rachel said, then that agency refers them back into the coordination center and out to the appropriate agencies. So it keeps track of people.
Are we seeing the groundswell that we saw from the Vietnam vets? Are we seeing the same groundswell coming out of Iraq, Iran,
Yes.
that region of the country?
Yes, and there's a big difference too. The Vietnam veteran, when he went into service, and then when he went to Vietnam, he knew when it started and he knew when it ended. Today's younger veterans, especially in Oklahoma, where many of them are National Guard or reserves, they go for 6 months, they come back, maybe a year and a half later, they'll go back for another deployment. It's very hard to get a stable life. It's very different than the veterans in my era. So there are different issues. PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, is a bigger problem than it used to be.
Well, while we're on that, Rachel, you're a veteran too. Are there many women in need? Women veterans?
Historically, the women population that required assistance was much smaller, but as time has gone on, it's actually increased to probably being about 10% of the women's population that are veterans that now require services. It used to be that they'd come back to a family situation, a husband or a significant other, and in today's environment, due to domestic issues, different things, they're actually now leaving those situations. They'll leave them more quickly and then seek assistance. So that's why they're presenting more often, and we're able to, or hopefully be able to pick them up and assist them.
Okay, we got about a minute left. A veteran out there might be watching, male or female, that needs help, doesn't know exactly where to turn. Who do they call?
I would say 211. 211 is the best way to enter into the system today if you do not know of a local agency that you can connect with immediately. 211 will then refer, from a veteran standpoint, refer them into the new Oklahoma Veteran Connections, and that's their best way to be assisted quickly.
And that's any age?
Any age. Yeah.
So no matter what the hassle, the hang up, or you might even not realize you're in trouble. Hey, thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank
We appreciate
Sam.
your coming
Really
in.
appreciate it.
That's all the time we have for this edition of Perspectives. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.